So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, and it is the Demetra K Show and Podcast, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always do just a little bit better. And so with that being said, of course, you guys know that we are not live today. We will be live tomorrow with Walter. Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, and he's going to bring a whole host of information, a whole wealth of information, I can say, to help us improve our financial lives. Because, as I said last week, and I think he's going to put it on the T-shirt, ain't no Black power without the dollar. So we're going to learn more about money. And, of course, today, Donovan and I are going to be talking about that of a Spirit, the airline, my favorite airline. No joke, right? For real. Like, I'm a member.
Yes, rewards member.
And there was a fight on there between a man and a woman. And I guess the internet is kind of divided on who is at fault and blame and all of that. So we're going to discuss that. And the second half, we're going to talk about a situation, I believe it was in North Carolina, where a brother did a little bit too much with a sister at a marketplace event. And so, of course, you guys will get filled in when we come to that. So, Donovan, what say you?
Hey, you guys, welcome to the Demetra K Podcast. We are glad to have you here. As Demetra K says, we are not live, but do us a favor, though. You can still hit that like, subscribe, and become a member button, and we would really appreciate it. And if your heart feels really good, we've got a Cash App, a Venmo, all that other good stuff that you guys can help move the channel further. But what would do even better than that, if you guys would share this on your platforms, and that will get the message out. The Democrats are still in trouble. They are desperate. They are treading water. It was broken out today that your president, Joe Biden, for all you Biden butt kissers, just gave $250 billion to the Ukrainian farmers, and yet Black farmers can't get their money. How many examples and disrespect do we have to go through before you guys realize the Black caucus is not standing up for you? They don't give a damn about you, but they're out there talking about they pass an infrastructure bill or whatever this stuff is, inflation bill, that's not going to put any money in Black people's pockets, because we are the least likely to benefit whenever major bills are passed in the Congress. But this problem with the Spirit Airlines, man, these Spirit employees, your employees, Demetra, there's another video out where these 3 Spirit employee females, Black, attacked and were fighting with the passengers. So there's another video. I think I sent it to you. I don't know if you saw it, but I think I sent it to you. But this one is going to be very, very interesting, because when I was in the military, I always worked a part-time job. So I worked at an airlines, America West, that turned into U.S. Airways, that turned now into American. And I still have a bunch of friends there that do all that. And I was a station manager down in Jacksonville. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen some stuff when it comes to passengers, and we're going to get into it because I know there's 2 sides of everything. But for those of you guys that have not seen the video, Demetra's going to show it to us, and you guys come to an opinion, and I'm going to give my expert opinion on what I saw.
All right, so here we go. Hold on to fasten your seat belts and be sure to put on your air mask first before helping someone else.
Yes, we'll be flying at 35,000 feet. You guys, please also make sure you tip the flight attendants as they go by.
And bonnets are welcome on this aircraft. Here we go.
Lost your mind. Don't touch me ever in your life. You touch me first, and then you got in my face. Don't ever invade my personal space.
Get out of my face!
No, I'm here.
You're
touching me again. You're touching me again. You're touching me again.
It's all on camera.
It surely is.
You touched me.
It surely, but you in my personal space. You're in my personal space. Stay out of my personal space. She's touching me. She's touching me. And I'm telling you, don't put. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, stop it! Hey!
Don't you ever. I don't know.
Hey, relax.
Relax. I fight whoever.
Take a deep breath.
Put your hands on me. I fight whoever. Put your hands. I fight whoever. Knock your bitch ass out. Knock me out.
So as you saw there, it was a man who worked at Spirit, and as of now, he has been suspended by Spirit, I guess, till further investigation. I don't know what else they need to investigate, but he has been suspended, and as of now, the woman has not been charged for her role in the melee, if you will.
Correct.
Now, the guy who shot the video, he actually used to work for National Geographic. And he said he was at one of the restaurants there at Dallas Fort Worth Airport is where it's at. He was at the restaurant and he heard all the commotion. So he said he, put his food down and got into, cameraman mode. He says, because from what I could tell, it wasn't anything different than anything that I would shoot while we were on location in the wild. So he said he jumped into that mode and that's how he was able to get the footage. And he said, yeah, it was pretty crazy. He also said that, especially in airports, people need to have a little bit more education on how to better communicate so that violent situations like that do not take place. And so I have a whole lot of opinions. And so, Donovan, what say you?
All right, you guys. Again, I am an expert when it comes to something like this. 9/11 has taught us that there's a certain demeanor that you have to have, especially as a passenger coming into the airport. Now, it's obvious that those people have made it past the security line. They are at the boarding gate, whatever. The man that's been suspended, he was a supervisor, and he's been suspended accordingly. I got two problems with this. As a supervisor, somebody who's providing customer service, obviously, he does not have the technique to de-escalate a situation. Number one, I don't know why he is in this woman's face. He should be at the ticket gate or the counter conducting whatever business he needs to conduct, especially when you have an irate passenger. The basic story that I heard was, and this happens with Spirit, she got on the plane, they had her boarding ticket, they let her on the plane, and sometimes it does happen. You go in there, all the seats are taken. So she comes off and she's irate. They're trying to, find her a seat. When they say, hey, does anybody want to give up their seat? We'll get you on the next flight, whatever. So she was irate because she did not have a seat, but that happens on Spirit all the time. Now, you saw a simp jump up to defend the woman. As you saw, the woman struck the man, the supervisor, first. Now, some people say there's more to the video before that, whatever. Regardless, from what I saw, when is it that a person cannot defend themselves when they are being attacked, regardless if it's a female or not? So my problem with the video is you saw a simp that was right there and saw that this man was struck. And he talked about, don't you ever touch a female. That's bullshit. And Demetra, I've been saying that for how many years now? That is bullshit. There does come a time where you must beat the hell out of a female. And it's very specific from where I come from. She kicks your dog, she burns your house down, and she beats your mama up. So you mean to tell me I am not supposed to beat the crap out of this female for doing those three things? You got to be crazy to me. And that's a problem that we have in our community. Whereas you got these women, which we saw struck this man, and we can all agree, nobody should be able to put their hands on somebody else in that manner. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. But the point is, we let these women get away with, these hyenas get away with it because they're females. That's bullshit. Because wait, y'all talk about equality and stuff. There's your equality.
Yeah, so there was a lot going on in that video from what I can see. Two very irate people. And so it sounds like we didn't see all that there was to see of what started it. But I'm also an expert in regards to customer service and how it should and should not be done. And I will say this, there is this saying that goes, the customer is always right. And I want to say, technically speaking, yeah. But when it comes to you putting your hands on people, I don't know how right you're going to be, because I think this is the thing too. Customers think because you have on a uniform or you're behind the counter, words are one thing. You can say whatever, okay, fine, you're probably going to get put out the store, you're not going to get the customer service or whatever, fine. But when you put your hands on an employee, a lot of times those customers know, or they really believe that that time clock and that counter and that person that needs that job are the barriers from them getting the ass whooping returned back to them or having the hands put back on them. So that's why I say I don't really always, because the customer ain't always right? We know a lot of times there's customers that don't want to hear a no. And I've been in customer service a long time. And I was always taught that as a customer service representative, whether I was a personal banker, life insurance agent, that's customer service, find a way to tell the customer yes before you have to tell them no. Now, I get it. Sometimes there's people in customer service who just don't want to do their job, so they're going to tell you no. But as a customer, because you have money and you go in search of a service, that does not mean that you should always get your way, because there's a whole lot of circumstances as to why you might not get your way. So I say all that to say, I don't know what happened there at that airline. Sounds like somebody was in her seat or whatever. It wasn't enough seats for her. So even though that sucks to hear, how do you get to the point to where you put your hands on that man? Because again, I get it. Things are very heated. Woo, 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 you this, you that, you that. But when you put your hands on somebody, the customer service and the customer's always right, that stuff goes out the window, because I do believe that people have the right to defend themselves. Now, some people might say, well, she hit him and she retreated. Yeah, you did. But the other thing is, I don't know if he was going to keep coming back with the rah-rah. And the other thing is, too, now my blood is really up. You put your hands on me, and no shade to anybody out there. I'm just saying this. He seemed like he was maybe of the LGBTQ community. And, you know, he was probably like this, whatever, ain't going to get away with putting her hands on. So maybe he did have a little bit of feminine traits. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. That's just kind of what I saw. And so he rose to the challenge. But, you know, as far as the customer is always right, that's not true. Should you ever put your hands on a woman as a man? It just depends. I've always raised my nephews, yeah, don't put your hands on women. But if a woman is doing all of that, you lay her ass out. Because we've seen a lot of cases where a lot of, you know, women, and as Donovan said, not really my word, is y'all word, hyena acting, and she just ain't going to stop. She's going to keep hitting you and all. Yeah, you need to do what you got to do to protect yourself. And in closing, the guys that at the end, you know, don't hit a woman in front of me, bruh, where was you at with all of that savior complex when she was getting up in that man's face? Why didn't you say, hey, young lady, I'm going to need you to calm down, because if this brother mollywop you, then we're going to have to come to your defense. So get out of his face. Let him solve where was all this problem solving then, you know, and before you put on your raccoon cape to get in the dude's face. So.
Okay. So, you know, let me explain a little something about aviation. Okay. In the airline business, a lot of people don't understand that. That's why in aviation, the term, the customer is always right. That's not true. The customer is never right in aviation. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. The aviation industry is the only industry where they can sell more tickets than they have seats. That is why, like in Southwest, you got professional people that travel and they go, oh, I'm not in a hurry. I'll take the $300 voucher. These are professional people that do that. They go and get on flights that they know is overbooked, and just to get the vouchers to get free flying miles. Okay, so that's one thing we know. This is the only industry that is allowed to oversell more than they have. So yes, a lot of people do get upset in that situation. Great. In aviation, you have a lot of factors that deal with it. So you're in a plane that might be having 200 something people, right? Let's say 220 minimum. I got to get to my destination. I got to do that. Okay, there's a weather hold. Do you want to die? There's something wrong mechanically with the plane. Do you want to die? I mean, they have no problem letting the plane go, but what pilot in his right mind is going to get in a plane that he knows is mechanically messed up? In the sky, we have things that are known as air highways, believe it or not. And they've got to stay on those highways. And sometimes clouds and thunderstorms cross those highways. There's a thing called aerodynamic lift and stuff. You lose the lift, the plane falls, which gives you the turbulence and all kinds of stuff that happens. So the term, the customer is always right, does not work in aviation. So regardless of how she felt, and anybody that's listening to this, if you guys ever fly in airplanes, always remember this: wherever you may be going, you want to get there alive, because these planes can kill you. And I'm gonna tell you what's really scary. When you see a pilot that is like 30 something years old and he's flying your airplane, you better say your prayers. Not that he's a good pilot, but it comes down to the fact of experience. Remember the Miracle on the Hudson? That was a very experienced pilot that did that. It's very hard to land on water, by the way. So, but he did it. So you're having a lot of these young pilots coming in, and I'm not downing the pilots, but so you got to be careful with that. But the customer service aspect in aviation, it's very stressful for these customer service people, because you've got a lot of people that fly airplanes that do not understand, and they figure it's like a bus, it's like this. So tempers do flare. So when you don't understand that, you don't understand that. But at the end of the day, that customer had no business putting her hands on that man and that simp. Like you said, I was glad you crossed into that. Where was all his energy to diffuse all that? I mean, he's watching the man basically tackle her at that point. I think it's a little too late to come in there and play Captain Save-A-Ho when tempers have already flared.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And, you know, I get all the technical, you know, I don't, but I give your explanation as far as the technicalities of aviation and things like that. But I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's heart surgery. You don't have the right to put your hands on anybody. And that's why it's important. That's why I start talking about it a lot here on this show. And I'm teaching it to everybody I can about emotional intelligence. Like, control yourself. Why do we get to the point in society to where we think the end all is to be able to put our hands on people or to get physical with people? Because the thing is, you don't know that I mean, there's been a lot of times when people have accidentally been killed and, you know, things like that behind a slap or a push or any of that. But at the end of the day, that you don't have the right to physically harm somebody, and that's trying to subjugate them. Well, I can't get my way with you and what I'm saying, so I'm gonna just slap you or sock you or whatever the case is. And it's like, that is very, 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 very low emotional intelligence to where you can't say. And I was teaching this to my nephew who was spending last week with me. And I said, before you act or you do something, what I want you to ask yourself, and you only have a split second a lot of times, is, what is this going to cost me? What is this going to cost me? And I'm going to put myself in the shoes of that woman. Okay. And I say that loosely. I would have said, now, I don't like what I'm being told. Clearly, I'm pissed off. I'm doing a lot. There's not a name calling going on. And I'm at the verge where I want to sock you. But what's it going to cost me? Am I going to go to jail? Am I going to get on a no-fly list? And, you know, and like all these things, is he going to kill me? You know what I mean? Is it, you know, so all those things would have rushed through my head. And in me personally, I would have said, all right, let me see if there's another logical way to deal with this. Let me suppress my emotions, because I don't care what you say. You got, he's screaming and hollering, she's screaming and hollering. And between them doing that, nobody is hearing each other. So perhaps maybe he was saying to her, ma'am, your flight was overbooked, whatever the case is. And that's the way, unfortunate way the airlines do it. And we would be more than happy to accommodate you. Because one thing I do know about Spirit, frequent flyer here, and I know people who are, they will accommodate you and maybe give you a voucher for a free flight, or, you know, put you up in a room. So they're good about that kind of stuff. And so because she was so bent on not hearing what he was saying, I don't know that's what he was saying. I would assume that as a supervisor, he probably was saying something like that to her. She ended up going to the lowest hanging fruit mentality that she could and put her hands on that dude. You know, I say a brother, put her hands on that brother, and it could have ended very well for her, but she would have bumped her head and died or something.
Well, you know, and the funny thing is, since 9/11, I know 9/11 was over 20 years ago, 21 years ago now. But the thing is, once you pass that security thing, okay, you could either deal with federal charges. Like you said, what's it going to cost you? Are you going to, it's a federal crime or it's a state crime? It depends on what they want to charge you with. You know, so you really got to be careful, especially at an airport. People are nervous as it is. You got to look at the environment that you're in. I can understand if you're at the Walmart and you're going ballistic, but the airport is not a place where you want to make an incident. The littlest thing that happens at the airport ends up on the local news. You know, oh, the plane was on the runway and it busted a tire. Not that it was about to take off. It was just taxiing and the tire broke. It makes the news. You know, you have a little food incident at the food court. It makes the news because flying is so intricate and there's such a stigma with it, especially since 9/11. And they're not playing. What if there was a federal marshal sitting right there watching all of this transpire? And I'm going to tell you, as a guest flying out at an airport, they're going to take the employee side because the employee's been vetted. We don't know what you're doing here. You know, you're acting crazy and all that. They can charge you with all kinds of stuff. So you really got to be careful when it comes to aviation. And I'm gonna tell you, somebody who worked it, I'm gonna tell you, it is very stressful for the employees because they want to get you to your destination. They want to make you happy and stuff. But let's face it, you guys. Again, a lot of you guys don't know this. This is the only industry where they can oversell because at one time in the airline industry, you had to be dressed to fly in the airlines. Remember that? You had to get dressed. It was a privilege to get on there, right? So you can oversell, but look at some people. You guys show up an hour late. What time do they tell you to be at the airport? Domestically, 2 hours prior. Internationally, 3 hours prior. Why? Because you got to get through the security. Anything could happen, whatever. I mean, there's so many intricate things that could happen. And these employees would love to get you to your destination. If they take you off of that flight, they are obligated by their own rules to put you on the next available flight. So you miss that flight, and let's say the next flight is overbooked too. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to take somebody off of that flight to put you on that flight to get you to where you got to go, and now somebody else is going to be inconvenienced. And if you look at your ticket, it actually says that. So all of this is being blown out of proportion in regards to how this lady acted. The entitlement is unbelievable. And why is it, Demetra, in these incidents, it's always these women that are these hyenas that are just going ballistic. When you see the dude, it's just like that thing we did the other day with the lady with the ticket in Georgia. She acted a certain way, and the guy is calm and, cool and collected. It is what it is, It is what it is. And these women just go ballistic because of the entitlement situation. Come on, lady, you're flying Spirit Airlines. I could see if you were flying, Delta, where you paid, $1,200, but even that, you still can't act that way.
So I want to just address that out. I mean, I've seen incidents where men are in the airport and they're acting a goddamn fool as well. And so it's not just men. It's not just women. It's the men too.
Yeah, but the men get taken to jail immediately. This lady wasn't even arrested, even though they have all this on video.
Right. Well, but that's not everybody who acts a fool. Everybody acts a fool in the airport. They don't get on camera. I remember we were coming back from Costa Rica, I think it was. There's a white man. He was very belligerent before they can get on the plane, and he had a beer. He didn't want to get rid of his beer, and they was telling him, "Hey, you got to get rid of your beer." And he was, "I'm not doing nothing." And it's like, "Okay, can y'all wait over there?" And then everybody else on the plane. And needless to say, guess who didn't come on the plane? He didn't come on the plane.
Exactly. They have a lot of power.
Yeah. So I've seen that. So I would say that it's not just women who are acting a damn fool. It's everybody. But I will say this. A lot of times, we misapply the word ignorance to say, "Oh, well, she ignorant." That is ignorance. No, ignorance is not knowing or not knowing better. And actually, Walter, kind of hooked me onto that. Like, we need to stop saying that people are ignorant, because oftentimes people know better. They just choose not to do better. Now, I would say that she is suffering from a case of being narcissistic, and that is all about me. I don't care what I do to you. I don't care that I'm showing my ass in this airport and, doing this, that, and the other. And it's like the other thing too is because I know when I go to the airport, I don't want to say I'm nervous, but I want to make sure that I'm in compliance. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I want to make sure I don't have, too much liquid, because I always carry my stuff on. I don't want, what I'm saying? I want to make sure I don't have a switchblade, which I never carry a switchblade, but, I might have got in my bag.
Or some vape canisters in your baggage.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can do so that I can just take myself through the thing and then put my shoes on and go. And of course, when I'm on the plane, I'm very courteous and I'm nice to the staff. Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you so much.
Matter of fact, you're so good. You will fly an 18-hour flight and stay up and watch and make sure the plane gets there safely.
All of that, so the point that I'm making is a lot of times people go to the airport and they just be doing the most. It's like, this is not your personal aircraft, like your personal vehicle. You can just go in there and just act the fool. Go and act accordingly like everybody else is doing. Take yourself through TSA, then wait for your flight, then take your happy self, find your seat, and sit down. Don't be, putting your feet on people's seats and you're flipping your hair all over the place. And, they tell you now, I know you don't have to wear a mask now, but they tell you to put your mask on. Don't make them come tell you 500 times and all that. Just go sit your ass down so that we can all get to where we got to go. Because like I said, people are nervous. We already up in the air. A lot of us don't really like to fly. I'm not one that's in love with flying, but the one thing I don't want is for somebody to be up in the air acting a damn fool, and putting us all at risk. And so she, from what I see, suffer from being narcissistic. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to calm down. They're not going to make me calm down. I'm going to have a dude tackle me like a football player in order for me to, you know what I mean? It's like, and I don't know what that lady was, so I don't want to, apply race to her. She seemed like maybe she was Hispanic. So there goes that idea that it's just black women, that's acting a damn fool. And I personally think that she should have been arrested. I don't know why they're taking so long to arrest her. I know they know who she is because you can't go to TSA and, be unidentified. And so I think she's probably getting a little bit of a pass because she's a woman. And from what people saw, he bomb rushed her. But it's like, you got to consider the whole situation. Emotions are high. And neither one of them had a grasp on him. And he was like, nah, heifer, you ain't going to be putting your hands on me. So.
Yeah, and the funny thing is with Spirit, it just seems to me they, which is great of them. They hire a lot of black employees, especially where they're based at and where they fly out of, which I think is a great thing, right? They call Spirit Airline, and I'm an owner. I'm a stock owner of Spirit and Frontier. They call it like the soul plane, because there's a lot of black employees there, which is a great thing. But the one thing I would say that the supervisor did wrong was the fact that he tried to assert himself onto the passenger. When a passenger is that upset, the proper procedure I would have done as a supervisor, as somebody who was a station manager, you've got backup. You call the airport police and you say, please take care of this person for me and escort them out of the area. And it's just cut and dry. But it seems like in our culture, men and women, we got to show who's in control, who's the authority. Real power doesn't have to show it. Real power just is. When I was a supervisor, it was really funny as a station manager. When I had irate and my supervisors couldn't handle it, they would call me and I would come up. And I wouldn't even get the respect of being the person overall in charge because of the way I looked. I looked so fairly young and inexperienced when I was the person in charge. And I just, let the people say what they got to say. Let them get it out because most passengers want to be heard. And when you're talking to passengers, you don't want to be technical. I didn't have to assert my authority because my authority was it. Simple as that. And like I said, a lot of people get into customer service because, it's a job. They don't have the customer service, ability. And that's really unfortunate, which really does make it worse. Now, I'm not a customer service person. I'd rather not deal with the public. But if push comes to shove, I can. And I know that this person paid a lot of money based on the circumstances. And I'm going to be as courteous as possible. I will never leave behind that podium because that podium is your throne.
Yeah, so before we get to the next topic, y'all see me, I'll put the video up. Again, we don't know exactly what happened, why he came from behind the podium. Who knows? I don't know. I thought it was kind of odd that they were in the lobby per se, or, weren't near the podium where they deal with
the gating. Yeah, the gate.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of odd. But again, people at the end of the day need to control your emotions. It's, and I say it all the time. And my dad is, really good at reminding me of this. Yeah, every day it's a fight for your sanity. Every day, it's a fight. I won't say maybe a fight, but you have to work at your emotional intelligence. You got to know your triggers. Because I know my triggers. My triggers, one of my triggers is being disrespected, especially if I was not being disrespectful to you. And so I know that. And so I have to say, all right, you know what? How you need to go about this calmly, but still get your point across, but do it in a way that it does not have, things erupt and people go crazy and stuff. And so I've really, I consider myself mastering my emotions so that I can stay out of trouble. Because like I said, one of the things I always like to ask myself is, what is it going to cost me? And it could cost you a relationship. It could cost you money. It could cost you your job. It could cost you a whole lot
your
of stuff.
freedom.
Yeah, it could cost you a whole lot of stuff if you are not in control of yourself. And I think too, especially with the inception of social media, people have really just completely lost their damn minds, especially when it comes to emotions, because we have so many triggers online. Somebody says something you don't like, and the first thing you doing is, oh no, you didn't, sucker. Yeah, but you got to get to the point where like, I don't even know this person. Why am I allowing myself to be triggered by somebody I've never met? I'm probably never gonna meet, and their opinions don't matter to me. The opinions don't put food on my table or take it out of my mouth. So so we got to get to that point and say also, I ain't got to respond to everything, whether it's online or silly people. I don't have to respond. I'm not even going to bid you the time of day, because people who are emotionally intelligent, they know I don't need to even honor nonsense, because when I'm honoring stupidity, it makes me stupid. So we got two stupid people arguing about stupid stuff that's not going to change our lives for the better. And so let me go do something productive. And I tell people that want to argue with me online, and you know what? Why don't you go enjoy your day? Go do something productive. And they get pissed because then I stop responding. Like, I'm not going to keep arguing with you. Go do something productive today, because that's what I'm getting ready to go do. Yeah,
but guess what? I'll be on your page again today telling you how I feel.
And guess what? You will never know already, because I ain't going to respond. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the second topic. Now, this, from what I understand, took place somewhere in the South, we'll say North Carolina, I think it was. And it looks like it was some sort of, you guys know, a lot of times you go downtown or wherever, they have like market night where people can sell various items they've made, whether it's food or bracelets or whatever it is. And so this particular guy seems like he was selling herbs, marijuana, something. It seems like that's his place. So that's why I said I'm not sure if it's North Carolina, because I don't know if it's legal to do. So wherever he is, sounds like it's legal to do. All right. So he gets to this table where he's getting ready to set up, and this happens, and we'll discuss this. So check this out.
No. I'll call you back. Bye. Your argument right now is that you have hundreds of customers coming out here looking for you every day.
Right here.
Opposed to me not having any customers is not going to get me to move.
It's not about getting.
You're being an asshole.
It's not about getting you to move. It's just about like.
Okay, so what is your question for me?
It's a respect thing. Like,
I don't know you to respect you. So what are you asking me?
No one knows
so
me
what
here.
is your question?
Everyone knows me here.
Okay.
Everyone knows me here.
Okay.
Like, what do you want? You just don't want to move your table? Is that all it is?
You never asked me a question. You assumed that I would come up here and just because you have hundreds of customers every day that I'm going to move.
It's a respect.
What is the question you're asking me? What is?
That would be fantastic.
Okay, and if my answer is no,
then it'll let me know that you're a disrespectful person who's not going to make it.
You don't know me to know that I'm disrespectful.
You clearly are. I'm literally
so the only two options are if I move, I'm not disrespectful, and if I do move, then I'm respectful.
You already are disrespectful already.
Okay, well then let's keep it like that, and you can go find somewhere else to set up, because I'm not in the mood today. I'm not.
You're not in the mood today. I'm
No.
saying, like, that's why I don't be understanding y'all new vendors. Like, y'all come out here and want to make money, but you disrespect the motherfuckers out here, really put it down. Like, I don't understand that. I really don't understand that.
Okay.
I don't understand that.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from.
You wild, disrespectful. So you gonna be here tomorrow? We gonna do this every day? Like, I come here every single day at the same time and don't have to deal with no disrespectful
Well, this is the first
people.
time I've seen you.
How?
This is the first time I've seen you. So you come out here every day, and this is the first time I've seen you. I've been doing this since last year, and this is the first time we've had an interaction. And this is the interaction that you choose to have with me, and you still yet have an attitude and haven't tried to correct it yet. You have come at me.
What do I need to give you? I don't give you. What am I giving you respect for? You giving me no respect. What am I giving you respect for?
You walked up assuming that I owe you the respect.
I don't owe you shit. I'm trying to. I literally.
Period.
Said,
exactly. You don't owe me shit. So we can end this conversation
I have
now.
customers looking for me here.
We can end this conversation now since you don't owe me shit.
Wow. I'll tell you what. Okay. Don't
The
touch
fuck
me.
away from my shit. Don't touch my shit. Don't touch.
I will knock you out. I will never. Do not touch me.
Do me a favor. Can you please call the cops?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Ma'am, can you please call the cops and record this? Because if he touches me, I promise you.
You're gonna get knocked out.
I promise you he will go to jail and so will I. Because today will be the day.
Why am I dealing with this? This is why I shit being serious. Why am I dealing with this? Why am I dealing with this? Why am I dealing? And if, I wish it was a man so I could just handle this shit.
Do it.
I wish I could just handle this shit. This is very annoying.
Do it.
Very annoying. Why am I dealing with this? For what reason?
Do you know him?
Yes, I'm here every day.
He sets up here every day,
fuck?
every Wednesday through Sunday. He sets up here. I thought y'all could talk it out, to be honest, but
So this is how he comes at everybody?
no,
Or is it just me?
No, I really don't think that.
He can have the spot. He can have it.
So as you saw there, the sister was, assaulted. It's battery and all that. He flips her stuff over. He tries to anyway. And as y'all can hear in the background, he's saying, "I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out." Now they're vendors, and he felt like so whoever it was, sounds like a lady came out of the restaurant, wherever, because it sounds like it's worse as a restaurant at the corner. It says, "Well, yeah, he does set up this, that, and the other." But my thing was, well, does anybody have ownership of that corner? Does anybody have a permit? Does anybody say that this is your table? All right, so the sister was, I don't have the video of her, but she was very visibly shaken. And, she said that she got a lot of people outpouring support and saying, it was messed up. And, again, you can hear the lady kind of defending him. And so this is what happened. I think it was like a couple of days later.
You're doing something right. What it means is that
imagine being canceled by people who never supported you anyway. That's interesting. Some interesting thought process you guys have going on there. Drink some water, man. Have a great day.
So as you saw there, people showed up to the corner and said, "All right, we'll hold our beer. You think you didn't like what she was doing? Well, we're going to show up and we're going to stand right next to you. We're going to be handing out stuff and making a bunch of noise." And they basically showed up in support of hers. Like, we don't care what your situation is, bruh. Don't put your hands on her stuff and don't do that to her. There's like, yeah, so deal with us. Basically, you saw a lot of men deal with the men like that. When you said if it was a man, you would knock them out. Well, there's men right here all up in your space and your face, boo-boo. Why you ain't knocked them out, right? And so, y'all can't cancel me if you never supported me. Like, you missing the point, brother. The point is that you tried to subjugate that sister by, being verbally brutal to her, and then you put your hands on her stuff, and it was talking about, "I'm gonna knock you out," to the point to where that sister was scared and got up and left. So, and then, and another part of it, I don't know if he said it in this part, but talking about this, new feminist and, that kind of stuff. So it's like, what in the actual hell is going on, Donovan?
Well, in the democracy, it's funny how everybody talks about capitalism, not democracy. Democracy is a form of government. Capitalism is a form of production and economy, right? In a capitalist system, there is multiple people who produce the same type of item in the marketplace. And the way people vote on what is best is what their buying power buys. Now, I always have this, and this is what I will never understand. There is plenty of money to be made out there for everybody. Everybody. Now, in the first video, let's say he is known and people come to him all the time, like he said. I looked across the street and I saw another corner just adjacent across the street. Why couldn't he have moved over there? Because everybody knows him, so they would know that's where he's at. No problem. What's the problem? And like I said, I'm not saying women are weak and helpless or nothing like that. But she has every right as a taxpayer to be on that corner just as he does. But the gentleman thing would be to do is exactly what he said. You want respect? Respect is just not automatically given. It's earned. okay, in some people's minds. But there is a general respect you should give somebody. Give the lady the same respect. Like I said, if your product is so great, it didn't matter if you went 2 miles down the road. People are still going to go over there and look for your product. And then she can do what she's got to do. So, I mean, it was a whole block. There was like 2 or 3 blocks I saw. He could have gone and set up shop. What's the big deal? That was the big deal. The big deal was he thinks there's a magical spot that she's sitting on, and he's got to have it. I don't understand it. Maybe he's there because of the restaurant, like right there, and he just wanted to walk far to get his little snacks or whatever. But when a man threatens a woman with violence for no apparent reason, that is totally unacceptable in my mind. That is totally unacceptable in my mind. So he was wrong in what he was doing. Obviously, he isn't what he said he was, because if he was, it wouldn't have mattered where he set up. He would have still made his money that day. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and when I saw this, because my daughter, she's pretty good at showing me stuff on TikTok, because I'm on it, but I'm not on it, you know. So she shows me all these things, and I was livid. She showed it to me last week, and I was like, okay, me and Donovan are going to talk about this. I was going to make a video, but I was like, no, we ain't going to talk about it, because I really need to have a good conversation about this. But I was so livid. I was livid because, to me, I hate to see people do that to other people. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to come at you all sideways. And like she says, well, first of all, I don't even know you to respect you, not respect you. How was I supposed to know this is your corner? Because like I said, that's, you know, like gang members. Y'all don't own this neighborhood. You ain't got a pink slip or nothing to this corner. But yeah, you running up on me talking about everybody knows me. This is my corner. I got hundreds of customers and all this other stuff. But yet you going to get to the point to where you going to flip her stuff over with just everything. I'm going to destroy your money-making, you know, process here. And not only just your physical things, but I'm going to destroy you mentally and emotionally to show you that as a black man and to another black woman and all the people watching, I don't have no respect for you to the point to where I will knock you out to get my way. But the other thing is, would you have ran up on Becky like that? You wouldn't have ran up on Becky like that. You know why, boy? And I said boy because you know better. But you're going to run up on a sister like that, and then you hear it sound like it was a white woman who came out the restaurant. Or, you know, he does. He's here every Wednesday and Sunday.
So,
but the other thing is, though, you saw all this go down, and this brother pacing back and forth, and, you know, and now you're going to come out when he turned my stuff on, and you're going to still try to defend him. What she should have said is, don't you ever, because I don't know if it was her corner or not, or whoever it was, since you come out to defend him, don't bring your ass back here. In fact, if I see you back here, you are going to we're going to call the police on you. And that's the other thing. Why was he back at that corner after he did that woman like that? Because they saw it was a black woman. But like I said, had that been a white woman, he did that too. He'd be under the damn jail for even talking to her like that.
Yeah, you know, it's so sad because a lot of people don't understand public domain. Public domain is we all pay for it. So she has every right to be wherever she wants to be, wherever she's allowed to set up legally. But again, it comes down to people not knowing their basic rights and having a entitlement situation. I've been on this block for 3 years, so it's mine. No, not necessarily. And, you know, he should know that when he got his permit, you know, whatever they're saying on the permit. It is very sad, especially nowadays when black men and women, we need each other and we are fighting over quibbling stuff. But like, let me point out, he did assault her. I know there's going to be a lot of people say, well, he didn't touch her. When you touch a person's belongings, that's an extension of them. Thus, the assault and battery charge could be applied. And like you said, did he think before he acted? Once again, what was it going to cost him if he didn't get that block and did what he did to that woman? What would it have cost him? You know what it cost him? All of those people coming out a few days later, whatever, to do and make an example of what he did to that woman. With what's going down in America today, black people, we need each other. And it is so sad that we are raising these, we've raised two generations of feminized men that will not stand up and be men, because a real man would have said, hey, sister, how you doing? You know, you looking kind of good and everything. You know, oh, yeah, what's your business over here? Okay, good. Hey, let me get your card that I can put it on my card. And then I could, you know, here's my thing, and, you know, run people over next to me. You know, let's work together as a collective. Let's see, Black people, we don't do that. You could go to the indoor swap meets. Remember the indoor swap meets of the late 80s, early 90s? How many merchants were in there? Bunch of them. A bunch of merchants were running around in there. Black, white, Asian, whatever, you know, and Hispanics and stuff. Everybody getting along with their little boots. Nobody had a problem. But now we've got these dudes that are all into their feelings when they feel somebody's taking something from me. Oh, yeah, you know, this is everybody knows me. Well, she didn't know you, so obviously everybody doesn't know you. It's just so sad. But again, there's a lot of money out there to be made. Everybody could get some. Matter of fact, I believe she had a different product than he did. So what's the problem, buddy? She's selling something totally different. If anything, I would say, hey, let's work together here. I can set up right next to you and we could kind of work together and, you know, get a little collective going here, you know? But no, it's all selfishness, me. And guess what? You're a woman, so I'm going to subjugate you and I'm going to intimidate you and get you and run you up off the block.
So I have three things. And y'all know, you know, I got a little gangster in me, but I'm still a lady. So if that was me, and that, I want to call him a name, but I'm going to be nice. If that man would have done that to me, guess what would have happened the next time he sat up on that corner? Oh, you best believe he was going to get a visit from the goons.
No. Wait, see, would it be the goons or your dad and his?
all of the above. It would have been, Daddy, I was, you know, I sell my things, and this man, he came up and yes, I done did all of that. I'm scared for my life. All of that. I'd have tapped into my inner white woman. You know, and really, that lady probably was scared for her life. This man, well, you know what, then F it. Then you just coming all up on her. But I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. I know I talk about being emotional intelligent, but what you ain't going to do is put your hands on me or my stuff. You would have been scared to set up on that corner the next time we had some. You would have been scared, because I guarantee you somebody would have said, oh, yeah, what we selling? Well, what you got here? And you would have known they really wasn't trying to buy what you got. All right. The other thing, too, and I see that I'm kind of buffering a little bit.
You're looking good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I might be a little bit on the frozen side. Ugh, I hate that. All right. So anyway, whatever happened to compromising? Hey, you know what? Maybe you didn't know. This is normally my corner. I set up here every week. Do you mind if I, you know, maybe we switch? And she would have said no. And then he could say, well, I just want you to know, I really like the spot. So next week, if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of, you know, so what about starting there? You know, opposed to you need to leave. This is my corner. I'm always here. And, you know, all of that.
Or get there early and set up. Get there earlier and beat her to the punch. God, it's a simple solution.
Right. And again, y'all, I apologize if I'm, because I can see on my end where it sounds like my internet is kind of wavering. I know, Donovan, you can see me pretty good.
Yeah, you're good. Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is this, and I really want y'all to be able to hear me. Hopefully I'm not freezing too much. So Donovan, go ahead and say what you got to say, and then I'll wait for my internet to kind of come back.
Oh, well, like I said, there's all kinds of easy solutions to this problem. Like I said, nobody wants to be a problem solver anymore. Nobody, everything is me. And like I said, TikTok, the social media, it has really gotten out of control. And I'm going to tell you, if you guys don't believe me, it's gotten out of control. They're saying mentally that what is actually hurting a lot of women is these guys that keep liking their pictures and making these women become addicted and delusional about their situation. Okay. So, you know, where's the compromising? Where, you know, we see it in government. There's no compromising. Ronald Reagan used to say, I would rather get 80% of 100 than get nothing at all, or 20% of 100 and get nothing at all. You know what I mean? There's no compromise anymore. And it's so sad that we've taught that to the next generations.
I'm going to say this, and I know some of y'all going to get mad, and I don't mean to make you mad, but I just think it needs to be said. This manosphere mind, the mind of the manosphere, because I don't know if it was this one, and maybe I just overlooked it, but he did, say, all you new feminists and things like that. That's the kind of stuff y'all say up in the manosphere. And this is the problem that I had with a lot of people who listen to Kevin Samuels for whatever reason. Today he was trending on Twitter. And as I said too, that I did listen to Kevin Samuels. Did not always like a lot of things that he said, but I did like some things that he said. I thought he made a lot of sense. But the one thing that I hated about Kevin Samuels' audience is that a lot of times he was speaking to people who was not equipped to hear what he was saying. They took all the insults about, Black women. They took all that and ran with it instead of saying, well, damn, he's talking to us too. But it's also like now you've got these, got these people in the manosphere who are now taking that ideology off the internet. And now they're going in real time and real life. And they are doing this to women and trying to espouse these ideologies onto them. Well, you don't listen. You're a moderate woman and you this and you that. And so then in their mind, because these boys who are not equipped to think for themselves and, spit out the bones from the meat, they also think that it's my right to do any and everything to these Black women that I feel like I should do, because you know why? I'm hearing that they are not worthy of me respecting them. And listen, I don't want to turn this into an argument of, well, Black women don't respect Black men. Listen, I know all of that is true on both sides, but I'm talking about this incident here. You have these people who are going out into the world and are being disrespectful to Black women, and to the point of putting your hands on her and her stuff, freaking her out, making her get up and leave because she's afraid, to the point where the community has to come out and support that woman for how she was done. But like I said, where is the people saying you can't sit up here no more? Take your ass somewhere else where y'all can sit up and do that to people, but you can't do that here. You don't ever come back here. Where is that at? You know what I mean? So I'm reaching out to y'all in the manosphere. I know y'all got a lot of camaraderie going on, and there's some good things y'all get from that. But y'all need to reach out to y'all brothers and say, I don't think Kevin Samuels ever advocated putting their hands on women. I don't know, maybe he did, I don't know. But I never heard him say to go out into the world and do that to Black women. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And you bring up a good point, because like I said, the funny thing is, you're absolutely right. 100% right. The people he was talking to was people like myself in regards to man-woman relationships and how to deal with it maturely. You got these people who've never been in serious relationships. Okay, like I said, he's a street vendor. He's an independent businessman, but he's not there yet. Kevin Samuels was talking to the established people who have businesses, not people that are still struggling. Kevin Samuels, how's a man who's established going to relate to people who are just struggling, trying to get there? So these people that aren't even on that level, and there's levels to all of this BS. They're taking it and going far left with it. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you pointed that out, because a lot of people will say, well, yeah, that's it. No, it's not universal. No, he's not talking to those people, because I'm going to tell you, people with money, when they're talking about six figures, that's why he would point out to women, well, how much are you making? He came up with the numbers, $42,000. Well, isn't it unrealistic to expect a man who the average Black man makes $42,000 a year, to expect him to make six figures? Stuff like that. So I'm glad you pointed that out, because a lot of people keep forgetting that. They keep saying, oh yeah, well, if Black people are making all that kind of money, what do we need reparations for?
Let me say this too, because I do want to concede this point. Kevin was talking to people who were still struggling, because he would say stuff like, I'm teaching y'all stuff your daddies and your granddaddies, didn't teach you, they should have taught you. And so in that regards, he's absolutely right. I'm teaching from a man's point of view. And if you would hear how Kevin would talk to the men, he wasn't like, okay, honey, explain to me. He was like, hardcore, because he was basically like, as a man, I don't have time to be trying to, let me pat you in the ass and make sure it rock you and make sure. He was like, nah, you're going to get it straight, no chaser, right? Now, the other thing I want to say to this is that there's no doubt in my mind that that man in that video I just showed you probably has been raised without a lot of good men in his life, and has probably been raised with women who have maybe coddled him and made him think the world revolves around him, and you have all this entitlement. Because, excuse my French, I know I cuss some, but not a lot. That was very bitch-made behavior. Very bitch-made behavior, not likening the women in his life to that, but the fact that he has so much, just unbridled emotions, and not equating being emotional to women, but just the whole tantrum thing that he had going on. And it's like, I can't think of any real man who was in his life would have taught him that. And so that's why I think Kevin Samuels was important to, a lot of men. And I saw that Kevin Samuels was kind of coming around to where his message was a little bit more palatable. And he was reaching out to men and teaching, you guys things that you needed to know. But again, like I said, he had those men out there who I think he was really trying to break through and calling, beta males, if you will, because that's very beta activity right there to do that to somebody. Because an alpha, I would think, be like, yeah, I'm strong, but I'm mentally strong. I know how to communicate. I know how to reach out to that sister and say, I'm pissed that you're on my corner, but I don't need to take it by force. I don't need to just to scare you or intimidate you into getting my way. A beta male would do that one. You know what? It's F that. Only thing he didn't do, in my opinion, is snatch his wig off. That's the only thing he didn't do. That's what a beta male would do. They would, go to a physical state instead of just saying, hey, let's talk about it. But yeah, so I think Kevin Samuels was trying to reach those men. But unfortunately, a lot of those men, they only got he talking about black women. Yeah, black women is, yeah, what dress size you at? Oh, you fat, you this, how many kids you got? That's the stuff they took away from it. And they didn't take any of the stuff that he was actually saying to them to try to make them better humans.
And that was my point. They only took what they were going to take. Like I said, they didn't take the dressing tips. They didn't take the etiquette tips. They didn't take the real man attitude type stuff. They took all the negative in regards to women because, okay, I listened to Kevin Samuels, whatever. And, I'm not a big follower here, but I did listen to him. But I took from it, how you should treat a woman. Like I said, to me, everything he said about in regards to women really didn't apply to me. It applied to the fact of what am I going to do to either I'm going to avoid that type of woman, or what am I going to do to be viable for a woman? And he gave me tips on that. But like you said, these beta males that he was talking to, and you just alleged, these are the ones that just took the raw meat and just said, oh, I'm gonna go with that, and just, negative. Oh, women ain't listening, they ain't doing that. No, that's bullshit. And if you listen to what Kevin Samuels really said, if you are a real man and you are bringing home the bacon and you are doing the things that you are supposed to do, and you are going where you're supposed to go and being where you're supposed to be, your woman ain't going to give you no hassle. Your woman ain't going to give you any problems. Your woman's going to take care of what she needs to take care of. You know why? Because you're bringing home the whole loaf, not half the damn loaf. And that's what I got out of Kevin Samuels. If your shit is correct as an alpha male, the woman's going to fall in line, period, right behind it. A real woman was going to do that.
Absolutely. And so, I would just want to send, I don't know if that woman will ever see this. I'd like to send a lot of major love and healing to her, because I couldn't imagine being in her situation where, I won't say a grown man, but he's an adult enough to know how to use his words, will come up to me and intimidate me to the point of fear, to the point to where I would get my stuff and leave, So I know that had to be really traumatizing for her. And, while I get that there's some tension between black men and black women, it should never come to that, to where two strangers who never met, to where he thinks that, he could do that to her, and vice versa. I don't think that women should go out into the world trying to put your hands on. You should put your hands on anybody. But just the fact that that lady sat out that day to go sell a product, and she's probably having a wonderful day, and here comes this, beast, if you will, to come to do that to her. And then there he is again, But I will say this. I saw all kind of people out there from every all walks of life out there in support of that sister who let her know. And she said she acknowledged that they did that. She's very grateful. But I say big ups to them for being out there in solidarity with her and letting him know, not on our watch. We'll stand on your corner. I'll be your Huckleberry Negro. Try me. Try me like you tried that sister. You know, so I'm glad that the community did show up for her to say, hey, we don't agree with what he did, and we don't know why he's still sitting here, but we got you. So, Donovan, what say you before we get out of here?
Like I said, another great topic from the Dimitri K podcast. Again, guys, do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and become a member. Sometimes Dimitri puts out great work throughout the week. And also, don't forget, she's also on the African Diaspora channel with Brother Phil over there, and a lot of good content that is over there. And the new African Diaspora app is out. I guess our webpage is out as well. So don't forget to sign up for that and do that and get the message out. The Democrats are in trouble. And again, $250 billion to Ukraine farmers, and Black farmers are in litigation to get money that is owed to them. I mean, what's that? It's, again, it's been almost 2.5 years of the Biden administration giving Black people the middle finger. How long are you guys going to take this?
And I wonder how many of those Black farmers voted for Biden. But that's a whole different topic. We'll maybe talk. We haven't talked about politics in a while. So Sunday, I think we'll talk about politics. I know it gets kind of wonky on YouTube because they don't want you to say certain things, especially in regards to politics. Due to the midterms, Twitter also put out a notice like, hey, basically watch what y'all saying on this about different, politics, because they don't want people to erroneously elude people, one way or the other in regards to the political party. So
God forbid you start talking like the MAGA crowd and just do that. They don't give those guys warnings at all, and they give all these threats of revolution and all this other stuff. But okay.
Right. So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. We'll see you on Wednesday live with Walter, Wealth Wednesday with Walter. Of course, we have a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo if you want to donate. Of course, become a member. At the very least, like the video. We will see y'all later. Peace.